All right. Hello and welcome to the Work Hates podcast. I'm Bron Lewis. This is Brady Blake. Everyone has a nightmare work story, whether it is a shitty boss, an awful workplace, or an insufferable colleague. And if you've had none of those things, chances are you're the problem.
You are the problem. Today we are joined by comedian, a golfing enthusiast, and movie buff, Peter Helliar.
Thank you, Brett. Thanks, Bron. Thanks for having us on.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
We couldn't believe when you said yes. We're so thrilled.
Of course, I love you guys. So,
we've already had a massive. You've probably had too much Brett time recently.
Never enough.
We had
enough.
Cairns, Townsville. We got wankered at both. It was sick. We were talking about our hobbies. You love golf. I love action sports. We were sharing notes. I loved it. It was a good bonding time.
We had a great gig at Tanks in Cairns with Bron Cuss. That was fun. And then we had a good session at Hounds.
Oh, my God.
Yes. You had a mate and you said, there's a few drinks behind the bar. I'm not sure what that means, drinks behind the bar.
I don't know what that means. Yeah, that's where they live, isn't it?
Well, these drinks poured like an hour ago and they're just waiting for us.
There's flyers and shit there. You know, people have fucking put a cigarette out and they're there for you.
For you.
Lovely.
But we went there and we were very well taken care of by Argentinian Anna.
Yes,
I love
Anna.
her.
She's so nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And then, travelled to Townsville the next day and did Grapes of Mirth, which is always a fun gig with Merrick Watts. And a great bill. We had Silly Paquola, Mel Buddle, Gillian Cosgriff, and Brett Blake, of course. And me.
I was there. Yeah, I was around.
Does
Mez,
Mez
of course.
always host it?
Not all, there's been times where somebody else might step in.
Okay.
But Mez usually hosts it, yeah.
And it's wild to me that gig works because it does every time.
It's my favourite gig.
It's outdoors.
I love it.
It's the daytime. It's sun. Like there's people kind of like, it looks like an uncomfortable place to be, and then they put comedy there, and you kind of need to be usually in comedy. You need to be in a dark room, and the only thing you can see is the comedian, and you don't feel self-conscious about laughing because you think no one can see or hear you, and you just kind of get caught up in this hypnotist on stage who is one of you guys, and you laugh away and you're like, wow, that was so great, it was beautiful, it's like watching a movie. But in Grapes of Mirth, outdoors, in the blistering heat,
there could be wind, the conditions. I did one at Brown Brothers, and I thought, I'm going to get, it's a nice warm day. I'll wear like a loud kind of shirt, a party shirt, and I'll wear shorts. Yeah. And I did it. And it was a fun gig, but I did, in my mind, I was like, it didn't feel right wearing the shorts.
I rocked the jeans. I was like, I have to wear the jeans. I was like, these pins haven't seen sun ever. No one wants to see that shit.
I know. So... Yes, but because you're a man, you're the man in black always.
Always in black.
But I saw a little treat in Cairns. Yes. You rocked up with a different shirt, not a black shirt.
No, it was like a worker's shirt. My mate got me. He's got a lighting company and he's got a nice shirt. It looks like a mechanic shirt. And I was like, you know what? He's like, wear it at work. And I was like, I don't want to wear this at work. It's so beautiful. So I wore it on stage. Yeah, it was the first time I've not worn colour in years.
Yeah, I saw this on Instagram and I was like, I thought you must have had an acting gig. I was like, what's he wearing colours for?
Mate, I like to mix it up. But those Grapes of Mirth kids, and people were in the pool while watching it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, everyone had a sick... I've never not had, no one... The Grapes of Mirth gigs are always the most fun ever.
Yeah, because Mez does a great job of putting a great bill together. You're always surrounded by... As you know, we all become headliners, we get to hang out less and less. So you're on the bill with 5 other headliners... And you're always really well taken care of. The Grapes of Mirth guys, Rowan and Mez, they do a great job of making us feel welcome. We had a lovely dinner at the end of it. You left wanting nothing. We stayed at the beautiful hotel.
I didn't want to leave the hotel room. I was like, this is way nicer than I've ever experienced.
Yeah. It was lovely. And the crowd, I think there were 1,200 people there. It was fantastic, and we loved it. So
and they sold out early. See, this is the other thing. It's like they've just worked out exactly how to do a good gig against all odds.
Yeah,
out and to get all of you guys who were available, all of these headliners, to be like, fuck, we've just lined up, and it's amazing.
Well, somebody said to me afterwards, he goes, "Oh, were you filling in for somebody?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't think so." And then I was like. And then somebody said, no, you're supposed to be Reece Nicholson. Reece Nicholson dropped out, so that's why I got the call up. But I'd completely forgotten that he probably did come later than it usually does. But so, yeah, apologies to all.
I love that they're looking at a board like Reece or Pete. Reece or Pete. Yeah, they're pretty much the same act.
I should apologise to the drag queens who were in the audience who did want Reece Nicholson from RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under. But
They're like heckling you, like fucking Reese looks different. You're like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah, Reese has stacked it on.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. He's
Look, I didn't want to jump on that one, but it was there, dude. It was there. I didn't want to take it.
You left the door ajar for me.
I know. I was like, I cannot disrespect the one and only Peter Helliar. It was definitely the first thing I thought, though. I was like, God, is there a buffet back there? No. And there was, and it was beautiful.
God.
It was lovely. We had a great time.
Pete, you got into Townsville a day earlier, and you were doing you're a big golf nut, which I didn't realize about you.
Yes. Well, I played golf.
Dressed as.
Well, I've come from my golf podcast,
Yeah.
Make Me Good at Golf, with Damien Fleming and Lima.
Yep.
We're all trying to get good at golf.
And it's working.
I'm tracking in the right direction,
Right.
I think. And but we, yes, I got the cans. One of the great things, because often when I'm not sure what you guys are like when you're on tour or this.
Private jet everywhere? No, we can't relate,
Golf.
Pete.
No.
Yes, my private jet is called Jetstar, and it's
Very nice.
that's not really
Very nice.
Oh God. I take my clubs now when I tour, so I would generally either spend the day in my home. I'm not necessarily go out and see a town kind of if I'm by myself, or go to the movies, which I love doing. So it's been great to take my clubs on tour with me, and it gets you some exercise, it gets you out, you're meeting people. So I played in Yorkie's Knob, which is 20 minutes outside of Cairns. I know, pardon me.
Excuse me.
Oh, come on, let's keep it clean.
Guys,
This
please.
is not the
PG.
Make Me Good at Golf podcast. We're a bit classy here at work.
It's turned into Two Girls, One Cup podcast. Jesus Christ. Bloody horny all of a sudden.
Two Girls, One Cup is a good spin-off of Make Me Good at Golf, actually.
They're trying to get the cup into the cup. Their bottle fall into the cup. Yeah.
Yorkie's Knob.
I played with Randos and Fireman Rob.
And how do you just stand at the starting line? Obviously, that's.
You love your golf, don't
Yes,
you?
I do.
God, stop swamping me with all this information. Have you got an encyclopedia from Greg Norman over here?
And you just wait for someone to go, hey, would you like to play with me?
Well, I went to the pro shop. I went to the pro shop. You can't play by yourself, but I went to the pro shop and I booked in. I didn't arrange anything before I went. I paid. And then I went to my car and I went back into the pro shop and I went, oh, can I get some sunscreen? I was going to buy some sunscreen because, it's bloody hot in Cairns and this, obviously I tan easily, but, but just in case. Just in case.
Yes.
And
because they can either use you or Reese Nicholson or you and Nazim Hussain. They're exactly the same person. Twist it up there again. Yeah.
And the bloke said to me, he goes, oh, do you mind if I ask you, are you that guy from the golf podcast? I said, yes, I am. Make Me Good at Golf.
Just been on TV for 20 years. Didn't bring that up.
Was that the first time that's what someone's recognised you from?
People have mentioned the podcast, but there's been an acknowledgement of they know who I am and they call me by my name or they, mention the project or have you been paying attention. This is just straight into not even name checking me straight into the are you from the golf podcast?
Wow.
So that was a bit of a thrill, to be honest. And we played at the golf course where had been crocodiles on course.
Oh my gosh!
Which is
it's
a bit weird.
Unsafe.
And they reckon they relocated them during COVID, but it's still a bit like but there's been history of crocodiles on course here.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I don't like that at all, but I love how you've conveniently turned your two favourite passions into a podcast so you can just go to your wife like, look, this is
Very
work.
smart.
I've got a podcast about movies, golf, and having sex every day. So I am so sorry. It's in the rules
Very
of the
clever.
podcast. I need to do research. I'm so sorry.
Yes, Pete's cheat day will be coming soon. That's
How many pizzas can Pete eat on a Thursday?
Pizza and have sex with a neighbour. But only on that cheat day. No, you're right. And when I was pitching the idea of the golf podcast to my wife, I did have a vibe of a Shark Tank contestant who was not completely convinced of his product. Just kind of going, I'm thinking of doing a podcast about golf.
I could either take 50 grand or $3. What do you guys, what's the vibe here? I'm just putting a toe in.
She's like, Pete, why have you got a PowerPoint presentation? I just need you to know how important this is to me.
You're sweating, you got a clicker, you're like, could
A
make money.
three-piece suit and a top hat. Pete, you've overdone it, mate.
Yeah.
So she was, but she's very, very supportive. She loves the idea. She knows that golf is a bit of a hot thing at the moment, and it's gone extremely well.
Do you reckon it's a hot thing at the moment for you, or is it?
I think that golf's having a moment.
Golf is having. I'd say as a general
it?
person who has no interest in golf, like because it takes too long and I get bored easily. But it's like the Live Golf is kicking off. They have that
the
Netflix TV show, and I'm not a golfer, but I watched that, and I love hearing people's backstories and their journeys. I fucking loved that series as well.
Yeah.
So it's on point at the moment.
Well, the uptake of golfers over the last couple of years is like on historic levels, and women are taking it up in droves. And we got contemporaries about Kitty Flanagan's become a really good golfer. Ursula Carlson is taking it up. Lizzie Hu and Bron are taking it up recently. So it's definitely.
How long? Like if I was like, yeah, fine, I'll take it up, no worries. How long would I need to dedicate? How many hours would I need to get in a day? I'm going to go play a game of golf.
Just play a game. Well, you play 9 holes, and that you should be done by in 2.5 hours.
It's a long time.
That's playing, and then 2 hours. You should do. You can actually
2
do
hours
under
at the
2
pub
hours
afterwards,
and then 4 hours for a round of 18. But then
Who has the time off,
maybe
Pete?
a drink
You do?
afterwards, and maybe they get to the course. So it's a day.
It's a whole day.
Yeah,
But you can get out early. You can get out early. You can get out
you're
early,
good at
and
it.
if you want to commit to it, get out early. Knock the day off, but you're home by 10:30, 11.
My best mate back home in Perth, Ian, he really got into golfing when we were like maybe 19 or 20 and we were working together. And
Police officer.
he's now a cop.
Yeah, I don't understand how you guys were mates. It just makes no sense.
Oh, if you met Ian when he was 15, you'd be like, how was he a cop? And anyway, we'll just end that there. Sorry, Ian, he does listen every week.
You spoke about him in your show last year.
Yeah. That's that, Ian. Anyway, but so a bit of a wild unit. But he really got into golf, and I was like, dude, golf is lame. And he's like, man, you just walk around drinking beer all day. I was like, I think I love golf. And then I went out, I bought the clubs, classic ADHD, you buy everything.
Oh, wow.
It's
And
so
then
expensive,
I think I
you know?
spent like $1,000 on all this shit. I started drinking, walked around. I got to the end of the 18. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I think I did it one more time after that. And I was like, can I just meet you guys at the pub afterwards? I'm not fucking...
Yeah.
I get angry easily. I was like, why the fuck is the ball going that way? I hit it there.
Yeah.
Do you have tantrums ever, Pete? Do you throw the golf club?
I play with Ellen Briggs, a friend Ellen Briggs, great comedian, and
Love Ellen so much.
She's great and very funny, and she commented I'm quite a calming influence on the golf course. So I don't
she throw
get angry.
her clubs?
No, she's good as well actually. So, but I think she has played with
Sooks.
some sooky men on the golf course.
Dude, that would be me.
bear it.
I'll be Happy Gilmore just punching cunts if they beeped at me or something. I'm like, fuck off.
Why
Like,
the people in the little buggy?
I do like the idea of the buggy and getting drunk and driving around. If you need a caddy,
Yeah.
I can't give you any facts or
Okay, so it's
information,
more
but
of
I
a-
can drive.
More of a chauffeur than a caddy.
Yeah.
So does the caddy?
drunk chauffeur.
Does the caddy tell you how to hit it?
Well, a proper caddy will tell you exactly how to. Yeah, they map the course, so they know every position of the ball, when how far from the flag, what the wind's doing,
Right.
and then what the greens are doing, because it depends on where you are on the green. The slopes are different, and
Right.
all that information.
And
yeah.
are they generally good at golf themselves?
Yeah, yes,
So
generally.
they get absolutely
yeah.
no.
According to Trump, they definitely would have had a lot of Tylenol as kids. They've got a very specific set of skills.
Okay, very cool. But so that must kill them to see the golfer who they've just told how to do it, and then them get it like.
Yeah, but there's
nail it,
also
and
like
get
there's
no
you could
praise.
just obviously if you love golf, there's only a certain limit you can get to within your own skills, but you can still enjoy it. You know what I mean? And watch guide people through it. If you love golf, you love golf. Like
Wait, because golf is like, it intrigues me because so many people, millions and millions and millions of people play golf around the world every week. Right now, there's millions of people playing golf right now.
Wow.
And 96% of them are shit house.
Yeah.
Like they're not that good. They're not
Yeah.
that good. But they keep coming back week after week after week trying to get better. And there's only about 4% of golfers who are good. Like, and even if you look at the PGA and the top golfers in the world, like a lot of the money, you hear about all the money, it goes to the top few in a way. Like there are a lot of those golfers, if you're like 600 in the world, or even 150, like you are still scrapping because you're paying to travel to even the British Open. So you're paying for your accommodation, you're paying for the caddy, you're paying for all this stuff.
It'll be an
if you
entry
don't make
fee
the
as well.
cut, entry fee. If you don't make the cut, you've lost money. So we think about there is a lot of money obviously in golf, but there are golfers who are on the pro circuit who are still scrapping away to make it, and they're staying in Airbnbs with some of the other pros. So it's
the bunk beds.
yeah. I mean, it's not like
Good luck tomorrow,
it's like
mate.
it's like the open mic scene. They're out there. They're sharing
Yeah.
motel
Yeah.
rooms. They're
Yeah,
hitting on
sleeping on
milfs at the
couches.
dance floor after the gig. What? Did you have a different experience?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'm more of a DILF guy.
More of a DILF guy.
Well, that is. Do you imagine your golfing career is going to explode into something that you are going to be a pro golfer, or do you think you're going to stick with?
I won't be a pro golfer. That's silly. I'll be semi-pro.
I wouldn't be top 10, but maybe like 11 or 12.
Well, it's funny. It dawned on me recently that I when I left the project, it was about 2.5 years ago now. I'd made a joke. I said, well, I'm going to work on my golf game, which was actually because when I was thinking about leaving the project, I was like, what can I do that's just for me? And I was like, let's try to get good at golf. So this kind of journey started a little while ago. And I did make a joke saying, I guess I got to choose between the PGA and the Live Tour. And I got to say, maybe that's becoming a reality.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, we laughed at the time.
I think can you mention that yet? Because you have been invited onto a special thing, which is pretty exciting.
In the Victorian Pro-Am PGA.
That's insane.
So that's like you are playing like a professional. You're playing with a professional. So it's Pro-Am, professional, amateur. I'll be the amateur.
Okay.
And you're playing with a pro. And they actually, in the Pro-Am, can win money. So it is important for them to actually go through and like try to win it.
Sure.
And they're playing with me. And all the handicap comes into it. So, like it's not like, I'm not trying to compete really with the other pros, but just do well for me. But they get money, so they need the money. So the pressure I could cost them money.
Oh my God.
By playing, and
that's stressful now.
It's over 4 days.
That professional.
I don't know how it works. I haven't learned who my pro is yet, but it's over 4 days. But you got to make the cut. It's set like a proper golf tournament.
Jesus.
Oh
Imagine if Limo beat you as well.
I know.
You'd be so dumb.
And then the last 2 days are televised on Fox Sports.
Oh my God, dude. That would be
not
the
ready
craziest
for this
thing.
situation.
Is that like just people like, is that guy from Rove Live playing golf? What the fuck?
It's going to be like, I'm not ready. I thought these opportunities might come a couple of years in.
And is it playing in Victoria, by the way?
Victoria.
Dude, if that happens, you make it to like I'm coming down. I don't even know what's going on, but I'm going to be sculling beers in the audience.
There's always there. That's what a weird thing about golf is. Some of when you look at the audience, like there's the people who will come, the spectators. There's just like regular looking people, and then there'll be just some absolute loose units who've like missed the memo that it's a calm, civilized sport.
Live golf has kind of changed that a bit. Would you agree? So it's like the traditional golf is like cups of tea, behaving yourself, quiet.
Oh, yeah, like
and Liv's got like Skrillex in a golf ball, but like, what up, motherfuckers? And people like, man, that's the first time I was like, I think I like golf.
Yeah.
I could do Live golf. It's pretty fun. Looks fun.
Yeah, the Adelaide one's gone off, the tournament in Adelaide. And hopefully I really want to get to that one as well.
Wait, Pete, sorry, can we just take it back? You will be teamed up with a pro golfer.
Yes.
And that you don't know who they are yet, and they don't know who you are.
Hopefully it's Greg Norman. You can talk about his massive
I hope they're
dick.
really good. What?
Greg Norman. Do you remember Greg Norman's naked calendar? He did like a naked.
No,
he did like a nude shoot. He did a nude shoot. Yeah, with
Why?
like on course, like kind of like like in the bunker and like look it up.
And can you see everything?
They can't see everything.
Have you seen that photo of Greg Norman on the beach walking his dog?
He's got
a fucking barracuda in his trousers, dude. He's a big whopper.
No wonder he did a nude shoot then.
Yeah.
I think Greg's pretty comfortable with his own skin.
It's no one with a micro penis going, do you reckon I should do a nude calendar? No one's asked for that, brother. Maybe in Science Weekly when they get the microscope on it or something. But.
So do you practice together? Like, is there like a rehearsal?
So we have our own off with the pro.
Yeah, you're like, right.
Hopefully, on the podcast, we all have our own coaches. So I've got Dale Lynch at Yarra Bend. Dale, great man. And like Tiger Woods was interested at one point in having him as his coach.
Wow.
Yeah, and now he's coaching
Helliar, the other one. The other Tiger Woods.
Tiger Helliar. Tiger Helliar.
It's a tough choice. It's a tough choice. I think he made the right choice.
He did.
Got to back a winner. I've always said that.
Exactly.
Tiger, what is he doing now? Well, probably nothing.
He works for Tiger Woods. He's not really doing much, is he? I mean, Tiger knows what he's doing.
Well, that's right. He wanted to
find a challenge. He wanted a challenge. He wanted a challenge. So I'll work with him and try to improve my golf as quickly as I can. But it's like, because there's crowds as well. So, and you know how, like, I'm okay with the crowds behind me, but you know how they line up along I'm not at the position where I can't shank one. Like, there's a great clip of a tournament. I'm not sure where it was. It was a while ago of like somebody teeing off, and there's like the galleries are like along the fairways as well. And he tees off and he sends it straight and it hits somebody in the head. and they're okay. And so he tees up again, and he does exactly the same shot. And his wife yells out, "Stop doing that!"
I'm fucking trying, dude.
Like he meant it.
Dude, I would shank it, like, because when the first time I drove on, I was like, oh yeah, it's going straight, and then it just fucked off right to God knows where.
Oh, mate.
There'd be like a pro, like, a fucking, I don't know, McElroy or whatever, and I just end up killing him, and everyone hates me. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
People must die.
It's my fear. Sam Pang actually hit somebody, the ball, obviously, at Kew Golf Club where he plays. And he went over, and the guy's had blood streaming down his face. It was early in his round. And I said to Sam, how did you stop playing? And he goes, no. He goes, in fact, and the other bloke said, he had the best round he's ever had.
Oh, my God.
That's why Sam Pang is a sociopath.
He
nearly kills somebody, and he goes on to play the best golf he's ever played.
God, I got that out of the system. I can move on with the rest of the game. Dude, getting hit by a golf ball fucking sucks, dude.
Mate, seriously.
We used to steal them from Hartfield Park in Forestfield. He used to sit behind the driving range, because some of those golf balls are like $5 or $6. And we used to sit behind the mountain, and then when like a good ball come, we'd run out and steal it, fill our pockets up. And they'd try and hit you, and it fucking hurt, dude.
They try and hit you?
Yeah, and then that one guy chased us with a golf club through the forest. It was sick.
That was Sam Pang.
It was Sam Pang. Yeah. That's the first time I met him. Yeah.
So, Pete, this podcast is all about awful work stories. What is the worst job you've ever had?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this because I haven't had a job that I'm like, where it's been absolutely disastrous. But one of the hardest jobs I took, when I was 17, an exchange student from Finland moved in next to me, and that was like my first big kind of like, relationship. And she was going back to Finland, and I had to make money quickly. It sounds like it's going
to chase her.
So I sold my body in the street.
So there's only one option. That was sex work, obviously.
And I was getting paid $5 for each romp.
Man, you should have just stolen golf balls like me. It was the same dollar value, dude. Except I didn't have to cry myself to sleep at night.
I never cried myself to sleep.
That job's being chased by a man.
Work a job that you want. What is it? You work a job. You're never really working a day in life. Yeah,
exactly.
What does that say?
Find what you love and something like that.
Never
work a day in your life. So no, I worked down the docks packing containers.
Okay.
And it was probably the last physical labour I ever did.
Packing containers of what?
It was like sugar or flour.
This makes it sound like this was 1916.
Mate, I caught down by the dock.
I got my Bon Jovi years. I was Tommy trying to get back with Gina and working the docks. And
Johnny is Pete. He used to work at the docks, sucking cocks. It rhymed. I went there.
That's very good.
So I'd pack the containers and then I would suck the cock afterwards. But that was tough. But it was good paying money, so it meant I could get money to go to. And then I went over there, and I eventually ended up in Scotland, where I went to a place called Inverary on the west coast of Scotland, and I was a waiter, and I just couldn't understand anybody. It was the first hospitality job I'd ever had, maybe the last one, and
that deep Scottish accent where you're just like,
seriously, the first time I went up to somebody and asked for their order, and they said something in Scottish, and I was like, one more time, and they repeated it, and I was like, I'm sorry, just one more time. And they repeated it, and I still could not understand what the fuck they were saying.
I would assume fish and chips and a pint of beer. I'd just bring that over.
Probably pretty
I'd
close.
Be thrilled.
And I just had to say, listen, this is actually my first day. I'm from Australia. I'm still getting used to the local dialect. Can you just write it down? Or point? I said pointed at the menu.
Perfect.
And they pointed. It was lasagna.
I did not see that coming.
There's a G in there. There's a G. They were pronouncing it.
And so you feel kind of stupid, and I was okay. I was kind of fine with that job. But the one thing I hadn't told them, I already booked in to go to the Oktoberfest in Munich. Because I was traveling by myself at this stage. And I was like...
Where's the Finnish girl?
Well, funnily enough, we'd broken up before I even gone to Finland, but I still went to Finland.
Was she upset you were selling your body?
She heard about the... She heard about...
She wasn't...
Sorry, used goods.
I did it for you! I did it for you! And... So I was traveling by myself at this stage. I went to the UK and hitchhiked around Ireland, and that was really cool.
Dude, that would have ruled.
That was great. It's one of those things I look back on and I think, Do you ever look back on the things you did when you were younger and go, you were a brave little fuck, weren't you?
Yeah.
Like,
also, so reckless. You know, you think
Yes.
like, I could have died. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if I had kids, I wouldn't be like, yeah, just figure it out when you're over there. I'd be like, no, where your son? That's why you wonder why
Yeah.
your parents are panicked all the time.
well,
You're
that's
like,
the thing. Like, we went overseas and, this is like 94, I went over.
no
and
mobile phones and shit.
No mobile phones, no FaceTime. Like and the call home was an expensive thing to do. So you maybe call home every 2 weeks. This is a stage where my dad was still sending over like clippings, like football clippings to the Herald Sun and like VHS videotapes of Collingwood games. Like every like few weeks, he would send me a little package. So
That's very cute.
So I went over and I did the island thing. Then I ended up in Scotland, and I just needed a bit more money to get me through. And they did ask me how long, did I want to work for? I said as long as it works out for, knowing that I was going to leave after 2 weeks. So I got to like about 9 days in. I was like, I might have been there for 3 weeks, and it was like the fourth week I had to go. And I was like,
And how were they paying you like at the end of the week in cash?
I think they were paying cash. Yeah.
Right, yeah, because it's a lot. Because it'd have to be cash because you couldn't be like, I'll just leave, because they just wouldn't pay you. So you'd have to time
Subway
this
Forestfield,
right.
you still owe me $47, you fucks.
Come on, you pay up. Pay up.
I did keep the shirt though, so we're equal.
Okay.
So just leave it. Thanks for bringing that up though, Brady. Shout out to Subway in Forestfield. There we go.
Yeah, they'll be listening.
Our sponsor.
Probably felt like an off-air conversation, that one.
I'm on my medication today. I don't know why I'm firing off in different. I'm on Dexies. I don't know why my little brain's going over there. Shout out to Subway and Forest. It's the golf, Subway, Happy Gilmore. It's all coming together, guys.
Nice. You're working levels. You're working levels like we can't see until you point them out.
I'm here for you. See, I should be your caddy. I do have something.
I'd love you to be my caddy. I would love it. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to, because I've already paid and booked for the Oktoberfest in
And
Munich.
are you meeting someone over there, or you
No,
just
it's
go
going
to
by
that by
myself.
yourself?
It's going like a little tour. I booked in for a tour.
Okay.
And I'm 18, and I'm thinking, because you're not used to having the adult conversations with people.
No.
So I'm like, like now you're going to go. Of course, I should have said, listen, I can do 3 weeks, if that's good enough, fine. Or I could go do 3 weeks. I already booked into the Oktoberfest. I could go do that and come back.
I'll be back.
They're reasonable discussions I could have had. I didn't have any of them.
No, it's great. And also because 18, you've just become an adult technically, and then nothing really has changed from when you're a child. You just have a license and you're allowed to do things like travel the world.
Yeah.
And you've just finished school where you've spent the last 5 or 6 years getting out of assignments. I will definitely do it, but I just have to do and
consequences.
No one's going to hurt you, slap you, whatever. You still get to go to school the next day, but you just get out of stuff all the time. So this would have been.
And you're not thinking of letting them down. Like you're thinking about yourself. I'm here traveling. I'm the most important thing. It doesn't matter that they're going to be short-staffed for a week or whatever.
No one speaks English anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Speak properly, and we can have a conversation.
How hard is it to order 17 lasagnas? Anyone can do this.
They probably never got their lasagna, to be honest.
The traditional Irish dish of Scottish dish of lasagna.
So it's approaching, and I'm thinking, okay, I need to have this conversation. I can't just disappear. I knew that much. So I'm thinking, okay,
stage a murder.
I'm gonna. It's probably worse. It's probably worse.
Oh, no.
I said to them, listen, I have a friend back home who has been a bit sick, and he's got a doctor's appointment on Saturday, which is a weird time to have a doctor's appointment. I suspect. I don't know.
And not to mention the flight is like 72 hours away back home. But
yeah. And he's going to find out, find out how long he's got to live.
Pete.
Oh, no, it's not good. This is not good.
No, I love it.
I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of this.
Okay, now, and you are talking to a man or a woman? Just give me a little bit more of the picture.
It was a woman.
Okay,
and,
so her heart, she probably start tearing up.
She's emotional. She's with you.
She was the one who didn't particularly like me. She was something about me that rubbed her up the wrong way.
Because you're a filthy liar?
Probably the filthy lying.
Couldn't speak English.
Couldn't speak Scottish. Wasn't very good at my job.
Yeah, there's a few reasons.
So there's a few reasons. Sue, her name was, and I said that, and there's part of me that thought she doesn't believe me, but the reason I had said that the Saturday appointment was because, in fact, it might have been Sunday, because I knew, it costs a lot to call home.
Yeah.
But I knew it was footy finals time in the AFL, and I knew Collingwood were playing West Coast in a do or die final, and I wanted to know the result. So I said, I'm going to go and make this phone call on Sunday. I'll get, and if it's bad news for my friend, I'll probably need to head home.
And this bad news would be if Collingwood lost.
Well, I was kind of thinking, I get to find out. It's 2 birds, 1 stone.
Okay.
And if you lose, then you don't have to fake cry for your friend dying because Collingwood's lost.
This is what happened. I went out to the this phone box. This is how long ago it was. This is 94. Went out to a phone box. It's beautiful, like Scottish kind of lock there, and the long pier and all that. And it's like, imagine the most gorgeous Scotland. And that's where I was. And I'm there, and I ring home, and reverse the charges, of course. And my dad gets on, and the game had just finished, and he told me that Mick McGuan had dropped the chess mark in the dying moments of the game, and we lost by like 2 or 3 points. And I went back a little bit emotional. And I went back, and as soon as they saw me, they're like, "Okay, we get it." And I was like, "Yes, I got to go back. I got to go back."
Boy, Mick. In his defence, they were trying to kill Mick, so
that's it. So I left town like the next day or 2 days after.
So you would have had to have gone back a bit upset anyway because you were leaving.
Yes,
right?
I was leaving, and I was exactly. Well, the idea. I was hoping Collingwood won, obviously. So the first thing was just like make a phone call. Yeah.
You're like, I mean,
he's got a big C.
It's not good. He's going to die.
He's got a year instead of a week.
And I just need to remind everybody watching this, because it's not a fun story to tell in the way. It's quite. But this person didn't exist. I'm lying about a fictitious person. Yeah. I didn't have a friend in mind. I didn't have it was a completely fictitious person.
Yes.
Is it okay to give a death sentence to somebody who doesn't exist? I'd say
definitely.
It's like an invisible friend.
It's a victimless crime besides the lady who worked there, all the staff, the crew, the whole of Scotland.
The town who had grown to love me.
Yes. Victimless crime.
I don't know how much they adored you. They're like, he is useless.
I think they were probably happy to see the back of me, to be honest. So that's how I can justify it now. But I do not feel good about that. So was it the worst? I'm not sure if it's the worst job.
So, but you would have had to. So and then you left there.
Yeah.
And then you packed your bags and then you went to Oktoberfest.
Yes.
And did you have a wonderful time?
I had a great time.
Okay, then that's great.
Yeah,
then it's fine. It's worth the death of a fake person.
It's a win-win. They got rid of me and I had a great time at the Oktoberfest.
I did that once. I worked in a cold storage thing, and where you had crocodile meat and camel meat in there. No one's once again shocked by that story. But when I quit, I said, look, I'm going back to TAFE to get higher education. And, because I want to pursue this industry, and the guy was very supportive. He was like, "Sorry to lose you."
Crocodile
and I'm like, "Yeah, no, it was cold storage. You got to start somewhere." Okay. And then I just went to Bali for 3 weeks. And the worst part was when Facebook kicked off, and I was like just posting photos of me in Bali, and he liked one of them. I was like, well, now he knows, and I shouldn't have added him as a friend. That's my own fault.
It takes a life experience, and I admire young people who can have those discussions early, but I just was not at that stage. Even though I was a reasonably mature young man, I still couldn't have those confronting conversations.
Yeah, it's so much easier to say my friend's dying.
Yeah, it is.
Because they're not going to challenge you.
Yeah. It is and it isn't, but it's also, you think, if you were from the other staff point of view, you go, 3 weeks, you're going to be here for 3 weeks, so I'll start scheduling it now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you don't think of that.
Yeah.
Because it's never happened to you, but one day when it happens to you, you're like, it's just easier just telling people everything,
Yeah, and to get busted.
But when you're 19, you're like, you're not thinking of that shit.
No,
it's all about me.
I need money now.
Sometimes a lie can just get out of hand. It seems like a good idea at the time, and then they kind of probe for a little bit, and then you're like, oh, God, I'm in too deep. And you're like, fake crying.
Yeah.
Like, he's my best friend. He was going to be my best man.
Yeah.
There was a Finnish girl.
We planned our lives together.
Exactly.
I try not to lie too much because I have the worst memory in the world. So I try because then like a week later, they're like, oh, how's your mate with cancer? And I'm like, who? What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't cancer in the end. It was a cold.
It was a cold. I would just instantly forget.
I'm the victim.
Like, I don't want to have to keep up a lie for years or if someone ever asks more than one question, I'm like, I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, my friend's name was Bella Gibson, by the way.
Yes.
And
And she's got a great Netflix series, so everyone wins. She's either 32 or 12. She
Didn't
can't remember.
Say she's Nigerian now? Didn't she come out as Nigerian? She identifies as Nigerian.
Yeah, she identified as Nigerian, and then
her.
I think she became Muslim, and then they found out who she was, and like they've kicked her out of the group. I was like,
she can't win.
She can't. Just give her a bloody break.
Can someone please accept her? When I was a kid, I reckon I was 12. My mum had a nursing agency, and she worked. She had the office at home, and so all the time there were nurses, like registered nurses, enrolled nurses coming in, dropping off their pay slips. So this is like in the 90s and early 2000s, dropping off their pay slips. And so we'd see all of these ladies all the time. And then there was one lady who would come and stick around for ages. And that didn't seem that unusual, because they'd always have, like women like cup of tea, chin wag, have a ciggy on the back, the back deck. They just loved it. So there's one woman, Caroline, who would come all of the time. And she would stay for longer and longer and longer. And mum had 5 kids, so she would always, get really invested in our lives and stuff. And then one day she said, I'm actually quite sick, Helen. It's my mum. And mum's like, what's happening? What's going on?
It's a real friend, by the way. She's a real friend. It's
This
actually
is
a real friend.
real
It's a real friend. Real
person.
person.
I could
Stakes
see
are higher.
her.
Stakes are higher.
And she's got 90 cigarettes. She's chain smoking 90 cigarettes. She goes,
She
this
was
all checks out.
This woman would have been, I reckon, in her late 20s. And then she said, and my mum was, much older than her, and so it was a weird friendship already. And also, like, mum was her boss. And then she said, I've got leukemia. And mum was like, oh my God, this is awful. And because she now was kind of part of the family. We're like, oh, that's really sad. And she's like, yeah, and like I've got my mum and my dad, they're dead. And so I've got no family support, and I just would need to be around people who I feel like are my family. Anyway, she moves into our house. And there's 7 of us. My mum, my stepdad, and 5 kids. And we're in a 3-bedroom government house in Canberra.
Oh, there's plenty of room here. Jump in.
So she comes and sleeps on our couch. I can't remember, but it's months she's there. She's wearing a hat, and mum has to drop her off at the
chemo or whatever.
At the what is it called, hospital, every single day. So mum will drop her off, and then she'll go back and do some work, and then a few hours later she'd come back and pick her up, and she'd come home and she'd sleep on the couch. One thing that was a bit weird, she said the only thing that the doctor asked her to drink was Guinness. So and she was like, I've got no money because I'm not working, or she wasn't working anymore.
That's the first little sign.
There were some red flags for sure. And then so I
need a Domino's and 17 beers every day.
So mum would have to. There would always have to be Guinness in the fridge because Caroline needed the Guinness.
It also does make sense. Guinness is high in like
who fucking knows,
calcium or something.
Also,
I guess
they were both nurses. Like not one of them was like, you're a fucking liar. Like they were like, okay, fine. So she'd pick us up from school. She'd drop us off. We'd be like, oh my God, when Caroline dies, it's really sad. Anyway, my mum drops her off at the hospital one day, and then gets a phone call, and it's this woman saying, hi, I'm just looking for Caroline. Mum goes, oh no, she's not here at the moment. I can get her to call you back. She said, oh great, it's her mother. And Mum's like, I think you've got a different one, because the Caroline I know, her mum's dead. And she goes, oh, she's saying that again. No, we're very much alive. She does this. And Mum's like, what? And she said, and I bet she's told you a story about her health, and it won't be true.
Has she mentioned the Guinness? Is she getting free Guinness out of you?
Yeah. And so,
last time it was Heineken. This time it's Guinness. Yeah. Okay, she switched it up. Yeah.
So Mum then calls the hospital and calls like the oncology ward.
This is the worst.
Do you have a patient there by the name of Caroline, whatever? And they're like, no. And she's like, okay, because she spoke to that doctor as well. Okay, fine, great, no problem. So then Mum goes to the hospital, picks her up. How was the appointment today with doctor whatever? Yeah, it was good, I feel a bit tired. I might have to go just have a little Guinness and go to sleep.
Might have to have 6 Guinnesses.
I might actually need heaps more.
Can you start bringing the Guinnesses with the car for pickup?
Yeah, they said something about getting
a few travellers.
They said something about foot massages as well. It's good for circulation.
So then you go home, and then eventually Mum asks her a few more questions about her mum and her dad and her illness, and Caroline keeps going along with it. And then Mum calls her out, and Mum goes, this isn't true though. This woman had been living with my mum and Mum's 5 kids for months, and it's not true, because I spoke to the people and they said, and she was like, oh, they're lying, and your mum called, oh, there's a crazy woman, that's not my mum. And eventually we were like, we're living with a fucking psychopath. And my mum, who's also a little bit mental herself, like keeps us all informed. she's going to lie. She says this, but she's actually not sick at all. And so this is all stuff that kids probably didn't need to know because at the time we were living with a psychopath.
Kick her off the couch. Kick her off the couch. She's well, I don't want to kick her out.
She got it wearing a cool hat.
Yeah.
And so eventually when she did leave, I wrote her a letter because I was really betrayed. I wrote a letter being like, to Caroline, you've upset me, you've lied to me. I thought you were going to die and unfortunately you're going to live. And that's really ruined my street cred at school. And I got out of so many assignments being like, my auntie's about to die. And then I gave it to my mum. I put it in an envelope, sealed the envelope. I said, hey, Hells, can you send that to her? And Mum goes, yeah, definitely. And then I went to school and then I came back from school and then the printer at home, like the photocopier, it had like about 11 copies of my letter. I was like, what's this, Mum? Like she'd opened it and she goes, oh, I just need all my friends to see how much she's hurt you. I was like, you fucking bitch. So the real villain is Helen.
No, I think the real villain is the lady who's this fake cancer on your munchie.
But that's when you get caught out. That's when you like start a lie and you go, but all these people are loving me and all these kids are surrounding me and it's pretty nice. I'll wear a hat and it doesn't matter. And I get free Guinness. and then at the end,
I can't believe this is true. This is insane, dude.
Yeah, I know. I wonder how she's going.
Well, she's probably on someone's couch right now. They're going, hang on a sec. This is a lady who's sleeping on my couch who loves Guinness.
We had our very
Probably going
own...
to split the G on the Guinness.
If I split the G, I can live. That's I've got to deal with God.
Very own Belle Gibson, which was pretty cool. So, I mean, you could relate.
Yeah,
absolutely. What was she doing when she getting dropped off at the hospital every day? Just going to the pogo, just going to the pogies?
Just sitting at the cafe maybe, just waiting there. Nothing to do there. It's a Canberra hospital. What the fuck are you going to do? Just sit there.
Oh Jesus, that's a hectic story.
And did she just accept it and move on and never...
Oh, she left and then...
How many days after your mum discovered it until she left? That's what I want.
I think she left that day. I think she left that day. Like, it'd be pretty hard to be like,
imagine if...
All right, you got me.
Imagine the lady on the couch is like, okay, family meeting.
Yeah.
Guys, they found out some stuff about me. Yes, a few fibs, but all right, who still wants me to stay?
Yeah.
Anyone?
She would say, like, am I like your auntie or your sister? She would say that to us. And we're like, I guess you're like, I don't know, I guess you're like our big sister. She was like, I guess I am. Like, she was mental.
Oh, so she just wanted it. Okay,
all right. Do we feel sorry for her now?
I think it's going to be a follow-up episode where you track her down.
Find her.
Yeah.
She's... Yeah,
you know when they do like Australian Story and they find out about your family? Like, nah, just go, I want to know about my auntie who lied.
Did you watch the Catfish episode, the one about the school one, the girl who was getting all these horrible messages?
Oh, no, I've heard about it.
I heard about
it. I do know the twist in it, yes.
Yeah,
it stressed me out. I don't know if you've seen it, but you're like, you've got so much free time. Why would you... Anyway,
free time. Anyway, could get a Guinness out of it. So, hey, that's the worst job you've ever had? Well, you were the worst employee they've ever had, so I'm not sure if that is, neither here nor there.
Yeah.
What's the worst gig you've ever done?
Oh, so many.
So many?
No, I don't have like there was one very early on.
I can't imagine Pete Helliar bombing because you're so nice and lovable no matter what.
Well, how old were you when you started comedy?
I was 21.
Oh, that's young, yeah.
And I had a good first gig at the ESPY.
Okay, great.
Even better second gig. I was like, this stand-up comedy's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's easy.
And then the third one, I tried to do crowd work, and and it was bad because you have no arsenal. You can't go, okay. So I was like, what do you do for a living? I'm a mechanic.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Wanturna.
North or south? South.
Sure.
Cool.
Cool. So, and it's just like, the first time you feel the audience kind of hate you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that was kind of heartbreaking. So that was the first worst gig. I did a gig for the Labor Party and they just won the election. So I thought, I'd say yes to it. It wasn't a lot of money. I wasn't charging a lot of money at that stage, any kind of money. But I was like, they'll be in a good mood. I'll just go along and do a gig for them. And I just arrived and they were just in a bistro. Crowded bistro, and I said, is there a room where we're doing a gig? And they said, no, we thought you could just stand at the end of the table and just
perfect
make us laugh. I was like, when there's like people who don't understand there is a certain theatre about stand-up comedy, and the conditions are important. And, you mentioned that Grapes of Mirth on paper almost shouldn't work, and it's heroic that and I think Mez and Rowe put a lot of time to make it work, but they were the opposite. They did no work. To make this work. So I just basically went around and said, what's your name? I did crowd work at the table. But it was embarrassing because there was people around. Not that anyone knew who I was. It wasn't like, I felt But it was embarrassing.
And when you say the people around, are they like having their own conversations?
Yeah. But then they kind of started listening because they kind of realised that something was going on.
Because you've got a microphone, they can't.
Well, I didn't even have a microphone.
You didn't.
No, that would have meant preparation and organising something.
Oh, this is hell.
Yeah, so as a branch, it was just like a branch of the Labor Party. It might have been the Carlton branch of the Labor. I don't know. But it wasn't great. But one of the worst gigs, more recent ones I did, it was. So I'm a massive Collingwood Football Club fan, and I've kind of worked with the club over the years in different ways, and I love the club.
You know, man, when they came back in lockdown, the boys' group chat at home was firing up. I was like, we're like, Strawny's back, no fucking way, and I was like, man, I love Strawny.
Well, he's crazy, Strawny, because he's just like weekly. Like I brought him back a little bit this year. The club that said, "Do you want to bring Strawny back?" I was like, "Yeah, it'd be fun." And I just do things. Is it going to be fun? And so yes, happy to. And it's gone really well. But it's like, and some people, I need to know, why are you bringing him back? He's just like 2004. And it's all
fun.
Bullshit. It's fun and it's funny. And I literally get asked about him 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Like either people online or just in the street. Like literally, like. I may never create anything that has that impact on, and multiple generations, young people, and older people, so it's kind of crazy. So, and in 2018, we are on our way potentially, to a grand final against West Coast Eagles. We're not quite there yet. It's the week of the preliminary final, and I get a phone call from the great Renee Kink, who's one of the great icons of VFL football. Okay. Played for Collingwood in the 70s and 80s. I think he lost like 5 grand finals, unfortunately. Oh. But he's iconic, and he rings me, goes, we got a past players function the night before the prelim final against Richmond. Can you come do a spot? And I'm like, Renee, I'm there, mate. Anything for the club. I'll be doing a project that night. I'll come straight after the project, do a gig, do a spot, and like 20-minute spot. He goes, great, awesome. So I go, and I was match fit. I'd been doing a lot of gigs, and I'm like, okay, I don't have to put too much thought into it. I'll just go there and do the 20 minutes I've been doing.
Oh no, I don't like this already.
I forgot that this was a bad story. I was just caught up, and I was like, oh no, this is good.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was a bad story. I was like, this sounds so great. I'm like, oh no, no.
Well, I'm thinking everyone's going to be up and about. We're playing finals. We're in a prelim against Richmond. It's going to be a massive game tomorrow night. Everyone's going to be up and about. And I'm there, and like all the heroes are there. Peter Dacos, who I got to know over the years, and Peter McKenna and Tony Shaw, and like. But I do kind of get there, and I realise, like when I get on stage, Brian Taylor introduces me and gives me a nice introduction, and I get on stage and they give me a warm applause. But I do look out. When you do stand up, you are like gathering information the whole way. Like when you're just, behind stage, you might listen to the chatter of the audience, and you might, you might think of a last minute kind of joke or something. But it wasn't until I got on stage and I looked out and I thought, there is a sea of grey-haired men here. Like not many women, and there's just a sea of grey-haired men. And I was like, okay. So my first joke, which I still do now, actually. In fact, it works better now than it did back then. I do a joke saying, I don't have FOMO. I have phobia, the fear of being invited, not the fear of missing out. And it kind of just goes, because they hadn't, like I was explaining, now when I do it, and the reason I brought it back is because it's a bigger, it's even a bigger thing now, or they've had years, my crowd have had years to kind of get to know so they know what FOMO is.
Yes.
So I'm not explaining it and then doing a joke on it.
Yeah.
So they didn't really get that because it was too much mathematics for them. So, okay, so the first joke didn't work well. Okay. And I would do a joke about doing a runner from an Uber. And Uber was pretty new then as well. So they didn't
know what Uber was.
So they didn't know the idea of doing a runner from an Uber. Like you've already paid for it. Like you pay for it. You don't actually hand over cash like a taxi. So
similar to a horse and cart. All the grey-haired people. Yeah.
So that got nothing. And I'm just like, oh, this is, I should have actually thought about this gig a bit more. And it just continued to not...
Because if you don't get them after 2, they've lost faith in you.
Yeah,
you know what I
mean?
And it just kind of, and I think I said something like at the top, I said something like, it's great to see so many legends here tonight. I hope it's a good gig because if I go home and tell my dad that, I stuffed up this gig, it's going to be a very awkward, night tomorrow night. And that only got like a couple of people like giggling. So it was almost like praising them. I thought it might have got like, not a laugh, but like a bit of like a warm kind of like, oh, that's what a nice thing to say. And I got nothing. And I was supposed to do 20. I think I did 8. And I walked off stage and I went to the back of the room and there was some of the younger, like Dane Swan, Alan Didak, so the younger guys. There was one table like younger guys there and who'd recently retired. And I went and got my keys at the table. I said, I hope we fucking lose tomorrow night. And I just left.
Did that at least kill? You know what I mean?
I got laughed at the table. And it was just like, oh, these are my people, this is my tribe. But you know, like, I'm not sure what you guys are like. If you have a bad gig, you can't always blame the crowd. Like there was, you know, like me, I probably should have done different material. I should have thought about it more. They're going to be an older audience. Maybe they're not across the how Uber works. Maybe they don't know what FOMO means.
But in your mind, you're like locked and loaded. I'm Strawny. I love Collingwood. I know everyone. This is my club. We're into the finals. I'm like tick, tick, tick. I could fart into the microphone.
I would have expected maybe a warmer crowd.
Yes.
So the next night I get to the game and I'm at the AFL function where I'm also doing a spot.
Must have been.
And I'm going to give this FOMO one another go. I reckon they're wrong.
Well, and so Brian Taylor's emceeing that one again, and I said, geez, it's a bit of a tough one last night, I got to say. And he goes, mate, they're just a pack of old pricks who just want to exchange war stories, you know, like the idea of listening to anyone is that they're just there to catch up. And I thought, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. That probably explains it. And but the game is like this biggest game of the year, prelim final, 2 of the biggest teams in the league, Collingwood, Richmond, and the game's getting closer and closer, and they still haven't brought me on yet. And I'm like, oh God, come on. And I was kind of saying, are we going to go on soon? Because I was supposed to do like 15 minutes. And then she goes, oh, well, just going to wait for this. And then but she goes, you just do whatever you want. Like, just do 10, you know. And then I was about, you know, like the game is that they're about to run out. And like, I said, are we still doing this? And I said, yeah, just do like 5. And I get out there. And I'm like, do the first few jokes. I do FOMO. I do all the stuff because it works. It works fine. It works. It works really well. And then I hear like the Collingwood theme song playing behind me, and I just go like this. And you just see I'm facing the audience, so or like glass behind me to the ground, and I just see the audience. They're laughing, and then they just go.
Get out
it's time for you to go.
And I go, okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's go watch the footy. And then we got a big cheer, and we won that night. One of the best nights I've ever had at the football.
Goodness. Wow, they really set you up to fail both times, didn't they?
Yeah, that one might have been the AFL more than Collingwood. So yeah, there's a whole conspiracy theory to try to bring me down.
Dude, I've done a gig for Collingwood before, like their seconds because Cody couldn't do it, so he got me to fill in.
Yep.
And it was because previous Eagles coach Mick Malthouse, and we went to you guys. He was in the. Can you imagine a worse person?
It's intimidating
to have in the front row is Mick Malthouse staring at you, who also looks very similar to my dad. So it's double trauma.
Yeah, it's intimidating.
And I had to go out but what worked for me is I didn't know any of the players that well, so I was just bullying all their fucking legends. And I just got through it. And I think I made Mick Malthouse smirk.
Yeah, well, that's as good as you're going to get.
But then I got to meet him after, and because I'm such a big fan of Mick Malthouse after the gig, and he was... I don't think he liked me that much, but it was you know, like he's a very one-dimensional man, you know what I mean? But I was like, fuck, I get to meet the great, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But those type of gigs are so fucking intimidating because they're the best at their stuff as well. They're also like super famous, super well known, a lot of cash, and you're coming in like they're like, who is this muppet? You know,
and they're not there for comedy. That's the other thing when you put in an event where they're like comedy is like an extra perk.
It's a treat,
and they're like, what? What do you mean? I thought I was trying to chat with my mate, and what do you do? I'm trying to have a drink. I'm trying to like, is the footy like the fact that they just see like,
and the thing that I really felt was like driving home. I think I rang Hughesy because like Hughesy loves hearing about gigs bombing and like so you have a laugh about it and you get over it. But the it's been so long since I'd felt that way, like that where you kind of had that kind of I'm actually bombing here. Like this is actually bombing. Like you might have gigs that obviously are better than others, and But I hadn't had a bad gig for like literally years, and certainly like bombing. It would have been like in my first couple of years, like that level of like not getting the response and not being able to kind of wrangle them back. Mm-hmm. Like I go out with absolute confidence that it doesn't worry. The first joke, if it doesn't go as well as it usually does, it's fine. Yeah. The next one will get them. Like I'm absolutely confident in my craft now. But and I did then. But I just kind of thought, this is a different kind of night.
Yeah.
This is a different
and
night.
maybe they were like, oh, he thinks. Also, sometimes as a famous person, you would go on stage and it's harder for you because people are like, oh, you've made, like, I think Husey has the same thing where people go, no, you're going to have to be so funny to make me laugh because it's that tall poppy thing.
Yeah, but also it could work the other way as well because I always feel like I'd done a corporate with Husey before, I go out, they're like, we don't know who the fuck this is. And then Husey goes out, who's still, a better comic or whatever, but like they're just happy to, like, Husey's here.
Yeah. I think it goes both ways. I think on the Seinfeld documentary, Comedian, I think...
they give you an extra couple of minutes, but then you're back to normal.
You got a grace period of like, okay, here's, I think they say Jack Nicholson, who's the most revered man in Hollywood at that time. Not that Jack Nicholson's a stand-up, but you get a grace period of a few minutes, and it's only a few minutes, and then it's like, if you haven't like made them laugh by that, after a few minutes, it's like, oh, come on, Jack.
Yeah.
Make us laugh, mate. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, get it going.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. So it can go from like excitement to, come on. Yeah.
Please don't let us down.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Right.
Now, Pete, we kind of at end of the bad gig story, but we haven't touched on have you ever quit in spectacular fashion by any way? Like just any job you've ever had in your life where you're
Scotland.
like, fuck that.
Scotland's pretty spectacular.
Besides that lie?
It's kind of a slow burn kind of. There's been no Jerry Maguire moment. The first job I got in comedy was writing for Totally Full Frontal, which was a show which went for a couple of years. It was Full Frontal, then it must have stopped for a couple of years, and then they made Totally Full Frontal. And I wrote a joke. I wasn't loving it as much as I thought I would, and I was only been doing stand up for like 6 months. I was snapped up, pretty quickly in that regard. And Dave O'Neill, the great Dave O'Neill, and Mark O'Toole were the writers. Love Dave, love Mark. And it's not even a sledge on them, I don't think. But like everyone was writing for minutes, so you kind of like the way that works is you were given like you're on 3 minutes. I had to provide 3 minutes of content, of sketch that made it to air, and that's once you get paid based on that. And if you came up with an idea that maybe have like ongoing, like other people would start hearing, okay, that sketch got up. I'm going to write some of those as well. So people were like piggybacking on other people's idea. It's not a fun way to work. So I was a bit kind of like, I'm not sure if I love this job. I got a few sketches up, which was kind of fun to see them on TV. But then I wrote a joke, which is not necessarily a great joke. I kind of thought it was funny at the time. It was a guy in like a library, his own home office, but it's like really grand and like all these old like leather-bound books behind him, and he's got these books open on and he's like, he's getting frustrated, and he's like, you got kind of cut to him walking around reading the book and then slamming the book shut and putting it down, and then he says the kind of tag was I kind of forget exactly, but the tag was I really wish I wasn't illiterate.
That's good. That's a nice one.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
it's a good play.
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of like, with all the books behind him and he's reading, you get frustrated. You think he's a learned professor or something. And then, and Dave and Mark kind of said, we think it's a really funny sketch, but we just don't think. And I think it came down from higher than them because they were the head writers. But I think it came down from a producer that said that we love the sketch, we just don't think our audience knows what the word illiterate means.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, well, we could teach them, like I think most people would for a start.
Yeah.
I think you're underestimating your audience, but we could teach them what that word means. And I'm always a fan. We at Triple M, the late great Richard Marsland wrote a sketch involving Marlon Brando, and one of the PDs at Triple M said, "I don't think our audience know who Marlon Brando is." And it's like, really? But if they don't, just they can learn.
Yeah.
That's how you find out who people are.
But you would figure it out from looking at the books that you go, oh, literate mean not read. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or he's obviously someone
Honey,
famous.
what does illiterate mean? Or Dad, what does illiterate mean? Start those conversations. So I quit. I just went.
Because of that?
Because of that, yeah. I just went, But I think it's basically, if I was having a great time with all the other stuff, I think I would have stayed.
That was the straw that broke
the
the camel's
It was kind of like, that was... I look back and I kind of go, what? You got a job on a TV show, writing, a bit of a dream job. Couldn't you maybe just suck it up? But I don't know. I wasn't enjoying it as much as I thought I would.
Well, I like that though, because they're like, man, this guy must have other stuff going on. We've got to fucking. He's walking day one. We're like, fuck, and you're like, you're just out there playing golf again. You're like,
no, it was. I did love the experience. It was fun to see how it worked.
So have you ever not quit a job? Have you got a job, Pete?
Yeah.
I'm here to announce I'm quitting comedy in my podcast and no more kids' books. I have, whatever. I mean, I left to, I didn't quit the part. Like, leaving after 10 years is not quitting. It's just moving on to other stuff. But Yeah. No, yeah.
Eventually, you have to quit. You know what I mean? Like you can't hang around forever. Yeah.
You could die.
Oh well.
Guinness.
Thank you very much for.
Let's go for Guinness.
Yeah. Pete's sick all of a sudden. He's got to stay on my couch. Thank you very much for joining us, Pete. So you got 2 podcasts going at the moment. Where can people find you on social media?
PJ Helliar is the handle. Instagram mainly is the main one. But yeah, Make Me Good a Golf podcast, and You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. You both have been guests on that. You watched The Jerk for me.
Yes.
You were fantastic, as was Bron. You did watch Two Hands.
I did. I loved that. I loved that podcast. It's a great podcast.
Thank you.
I had a really good time.
I do love it. We got some new guests coming up.
Because I've actually not often I was like, because we both love our favorite film is one of our favorite films is Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
I watched it again after we had that discussion on the weekend.
Right. So
I was
funny.
like, you've got to get me back on. I know that's not about the podcast, but maybe we just do a different bonus episode or something. But I rewatched it again. And it's still fucking good, dude.
It's
It's the
good.
top 5 funniest films ever made.
I agree. I think it's the best comedy made this century.
Yeah.
And
Wow,
it
that's
is.
awesome.
I rewatched it again on the plane. I'm like, fuck, it is good.
Every performance is just hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's beautifully written, well made. It's just great.
Yeah,
Yes, I
we
watched it
had a
with
real
kids.
connection moment over that at dinner. I'm finally glad I found someone who loves this film as much
Yeah,
as me. Because if you
great.
tell your mate, they're like, Bridesmaids. We're like, dude, just because it says Bridesmaids doesn't mean it's fucking not funny. Go check it out.
Yeah, it's so
Best
good.
cast.
It's the best. And it got to gave it. It was Melissa McCarthy's first
Yeah.
kind of big role where she was just like fucking so damn funny.
So funny, and there's nothing that she's been in that I've been like not that good. Like even like a more serious, she's brilliant.
Yeah, and then that's Rose Byrne as a serious like comedic actress as well. Like
Yeah.
how good she is in that film is incredible.
They
Yeah.
all fucking rule.
I'm gonna watch it
Thank you
tonight.
very much for joining us, guys.
Thanks,
If you're not on the
Pete.
Patreon, make sure you do so. Thank you very much. Thank you, Peter Helliar. Come on.
Thank you very much.
Hey.
Thank you. Thanks to the studio audience.
I've been fired from a lot of places. I've been fired from so many places.
I went into the class one day, real bullets.
Kill me.